What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got back from the theaters after seeing Top Gun Maverick. This is a 2022 film that is indeed the sequel to the 1986 original film. Wow, let me just put it here first. I did not grow up on the original Top Gun. I didn't watch it until for the first time a couple of years ago, and when I watched it, I didn't fall in love with it. It didn't change my life. It was fine. You know what I mean? And so when this sequel got announced, I thought, wow, this is a big, long gap. Usually sequels that take that long to happen doesn't have the greatest track record. And I didn't know, I wasn't quite sure. And then the movie got delayed for, it felt like over 2 years. They just kept pushing it back, obviously because of COVID, but they did not want to release it on VOD or streaming. And then early reviews came out that was praising this film, saying it was the best movie of the year, or the real summer blockbuster, and just touting it as this amazing film. And so I said, all right, is this being overhyped? Am I going to enjoy this as much as all of them? Well, let me just say that I did really enjoy this movie. I did. There is something about, I don't know if it's Tom Cruise and him as this Maverick character, because yes, in the original movie he was younger, he was cockier, he was full of himself, he was good looking, he got the girl, he sort of everything went well for him other than, well, his best friend dying. But you know what I mean, right? It was young Tom Cruise in his prime. And so seeing him now, older, and the movie kind of acknowledging how much older he is, how much he hasn't advanced in his military status, how much he just seems to be content flying jets and just doing the same things over and over. And also, he gets treated like shit by so many other characters that this is one of the most that I've liked Tom Cruise in a movie in a while. He did come up across as more relatable, more down to earth, and more somebody that I understood where he was coming from. We do get a lot of new characters though. Miles Teller plays Rooster. He is the son of Goose, who was the best friend of Tom Cruise, who, like I said, was killed in the first film. And so you get some friction and tension between Miles Teller and Tom Cruise at the beginning, and I thought to myself, all right, I'm not going to like Miles Teller. But then the more you get of his story, the more you understand where he's coming from, the more you at least appreciate that dynamic more than it could have been. And by the end of it, I really liked Miles Teller. I did. I thought he brought a lot of personality to this role. There was a character named Phoenix that I enjoyed. She was a girl, and she had that tomboy, tough girl attitude about her. And there was another character, Hangman, who was a complete douche and a cocky asshole, but he was also the best out of the team, so you understood why he was such a dick. And these actors were all good. Seeing Tom Cruise having to train them in order to do this mission and trying to do it at such a high level. It's so weird how much, and I was originally going to say this was a complaint, but ultimately at the end of the day it didn't really matter. The thing was that you don't know who the enemy is. They don't spell out who we're fighting against, who the people that we're doing this mission against, or whose base we're trying to attack. It's just anonymous, unknown, unnamed enemy number 4. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. But it ended up being fine because the movie was more about the training. It was more about them trying to work together. It was more about Tom Cruise trying to become a teacher that he never thought he could. Some of the other actors, John Hamm is in this movie, and John Hamm was such a dick in this film, such an asshole, like one of the guys who was just talking down to Tom Cruise. Ed Harris, once again, another guy talking down to Cruise, because I guess this just seemed like the thing to do. Val Kilmer, who was in the original film as Iceman, he was in this movie. And that was quite fascinating because in real life, Val Kilmer had throat cancer. He can't speak at all. And the way that he was used in this movie was so special, so nice. It was one of the most touching and heart-wrenching moments in this film. I thought it was great. And Jennifer Connolly plays Penny. She is the love interest for Tom Cruise. And at first I thought, like, are we not going to talk about the girl from the first film that he was so head over heels for? But honestly, who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck? Jennifer Connelly was so great in a role that could have been throwaway, in a role that could have been just whatever. She's here to be the hot chick that Tom Cruise pines over. But I liked their dynamic. I liked her personality. I think she's a great actress in general. And of course, she's beautiful. But I liked that they had history, so it made sense why they got to the place that they got in this film. And also, the biggest takeaway, other than the Danger Zone Kenny Loggins song that they replayed at the beginning of this, was I saw this in IMAX. And so a lot of these action scenes, the flight scenes in the jets, seeing that in IMAX, I already saw some of these making of behind the scenes videos of Tom Cruise learning how to fly the jets himself, training and because he's obsessed with doing stunts himself. He's crazy about it. And all of the other actors kind of had to follow suit, and they all, a lot of those shots that you see of them in the cockpit, in those jets, flying around, they're really doing that shit. And it's crazy because you can tell it's not CGI. You can tell it's shit really going on. I don't know if that added to the layers of tension that I felt. The whole third act of this movie, I was on the edge of my seat, and I was nervous and fidgety because I was invested. And this movie did a great job of making me care about the characters, care about the plot, care about the situation. This movie should not have been as good as it was. Honestly, it had so much working against it. I came in with so much baggage, ready to just say, whatever, I'm not impressed. But holy crap, this film was great. It was great. I would definitely have to give this movie a full price. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw Top Gun Maverick. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you love it as well? Are you a fan of the original, or are you just going into this one blind? Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Sticking to my decision, just to rupture y'all ignition. I'm painting my perfect vision, intuition is real. If you humble, you will never stumble. Listen, it's clear, but I'ma give it to him. Let the God seize the day.